there Star Wars collectors, and welcome to another Bossk Bounty video, and welcome to episode 123 of Ask Bossk Bounty. This is the weekly Q&A series that drops every Sunday, where I take questions from the comment section below and I answer them as best as I possibly can. So if you do want to be featured for next week's episode, please leave your comments in that comment section below and hopefully you'll be featured next week. I just want to do a massive shout out to everybody that I met at Echo Live on Saturday. It was truly awesome. People coming up to me that are fans of the channel, wanting to speak to me and meet me and whatever. It's totally mind-blowing, but all the same, it was fantastic meeting you guys. And yeah, having a little chat and everything. And I want to say a big thank you to Des T, because we do have some fan mail to open in today's video that he gave me yesterday that I wasn't to open until I got home, and I still haven't really seen what's in there yet, so we're going to be doing that in this video. And we also have another box that's turned up as well, for all the way from America, and that's going to be opened up later on in the video as well. And also a massive shout out to the family that I met yesterday. I do apologise, I don't think I grabbed your name at the time, but it was husband, wife and son, and we had a little chat and everything about your Razor Crest, and that was awesome. So big thumbs up from me, and thank you so much for that. Alright then, so we do have a bumper episode this week again, loads of decent questions to get through, and if you do happen to enjoy the video, don't forget to drop a like down below, because that really helps the video and the channel. And with all that being said, let's get straight on to the first question. Doug McLeod says, great watch Tim, question for next week, do you think future expanded universe figures will come on Legends card backs? Also, it's been an age since we had any large vehicles in the vintage collection, can you foresee any for the return of the Jedi anniversary? Cheers mate, Darkside Doug. So to answer your first question, we do have an answer about that now. An Instagrammer by the name of Rancor Trader, I want to say, I will put an image on the screen now. He posted an image on Instagram that he has now got the Republic Trooper in hand from Hasbro Pulse from Germany. So anyone from Germany that's watching, or in Europe, Germany now has Hasbro Pulse. I think I mentioned that on a few videos ago that was going to be happening, and it's there now. So Germany, you can now use Hasbro Pulse, and he ordered the Republic Trooper and he has them in hand. And not only do they look like they are the thicker cardstock, but also they are unpunched, and also they do have the expanded universe logo, so it is completely a reissue as such. Awesome that they're unpunched. I guess that's because these aren't for retail, they're straight from Hasbro Pulse, they're not going to be swinging on any pegs, and retailers don't need to worry about the little tab being on the floor, which is supposedly the reason why figures don't come unpunched anymore. But that one is going to be unpunched, which is awesome. So there you go, that is the answer. They are not going to be on Legends cards, they are going to be on Expanded Universe, so any other reissues or figures from the Expanded Universe in the future will hopefully use that logo as well. Part of me is happy about that. I mean, it would have been quite nice to have some kind of variance within the card back, but at the end of the day, I've always liked the fact that the Star Wars chase is a New Hope figures, and I didn't really like it when we got Dr. Aphra on the Star Wars card, I've got to be honest. I think it would have been better on like a Legends card or something like that. But they've gone down that route now, and they've released many figures on the Star Wars chase, so there's not really a lot we can do about it, but I would rather they hadn't have done that. As for large vehicles in the future, for the Return of the Jedi anniversary, it's very hard to tell, because I think any vehicle that's, you know, of a certain size will be reserved for HasLab. I think that's just the way it's going to work now. Don't think retailers have really got the confidence in sort of stocking those big items anymore. So that's that. I think though for the Return of the Jedi we will get maybe some smaller ones. My fingers are still crossed for the speeder bike. I think that's going to be the perfect year to release that vehicle. Tony J says, joining with your recent TVC droids ranking video, what are your top droids missing from the vintage collection? Yeah, so this is the video that I did the other day, which is the ranking of the current droids figures that we've got in the vintage collection. I did the worst to first of those, ranking those. So yeah, the ones that are missing that I would really like in the vintage collection are definitely Antok Merrick's Astromech droid, whatever his name is. I don't think it's ever been confirmed what his name is. I would love to see them do Chopper. I would also love to see them do a proper C-3PO. I think I mentioned it in that video. We need a properly scaled C-3PO, preferably vac metalized, or at least a lot shinier than that dull version that we've got. And also it needs to be on a Star Wars card, that is 100%. Other than that, I guess you could say BB-8. You know, if you're looking at the sequel trilogy, that is a glaring omission from The Force Awakens, so I'll go with that. Tim Case says, my question is, when will Hasbro bring back weapons packs so collectors like us can replace the blasters that we have lost on the loose action figures? So in answer to that question, I don't really know if they ever will do that. I don't think maybe the packaging for the vintage collection really sort of lends itself to that. I know they used to do it with the, what they called the Saga Legends line. They used to have that little sort of weapons pack, didn't they? My point on this really is Hasbro really need to sort the weapons out before they start giving us weapon packs. They need to sort out the gumminess of the weapons. They are far too bendy, and they need to sort that out first. Phil the Four says, great vid, Tim. Question for next week. Was watching your Boba Tatooine vid and wondering if you think they will release a definitive ESB Boba on a Star Wars chase with all the Boba mold enhancements, a bit like the latest Stormy. To my mind, we need a numbered Fett on the Star Wars chase. The rocket firing Fett is more retro than TVC. Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think the only thing is that obviously before the special editions came out, Boba Fett wasn't in the film A New Hope, was he? So it goes back to this chase. If we're going to go down the Kenner line and replicating what they did, then yes, that was his debut card. In terms of the actual figure, I think, you know, they really need to completely update it, and I think a lot of it will be all new because the armor between the two is actually quite different. This guy has like the pads on his belt and this version doesn't, things like that. There are quite a lot of differences, but at the end of the day, you know, for what they've done with that, they could definitely do with this. I mean, look at the difference in the two helmets on these two. It is stark, isn't it? That one's always been too squashed, even though it is removable. You would expect that one maybe to be bigger. You can really see the size difference. But what's disappointing about this one, and I've said it before, is it doesn't have the articulation on the rangefinder, and the new Death Watch Mandalorian does, which is a big shame. So, but yeah, I'm all for that, my friend. I'm all for them giving us a brand new one of these because we do need him. Not too sure about what card back. I think the ESB is correct in terms of the film, but I don't think it's correct in terms of his debut card, if it's matching what Kenner did. Denny King says, hi BB, question for next week. Given how far the quality of the figures have come over, say, the last 15 years, what do you think the next innovations could be? What would a Star Wars figure be like in another 15 years? Yeah, I want to be a little bit careful with this because I think we can't get away from the fact that these are still toys, essentially. I know they're collectibles for adults, especially the Vintage Collection and the Black Series, but essentially they're still toys, and I wouldn't really want too many more advancements. I like the way they're going with the Vintage Collection, giving them the same articulation that the Black Series have with the new hips and things like that. They're good advancements. Perhaps in the future, you know, a figure of this caliber could have the butterfly joints in his arms, perhaps. But I think making the head sculpts and the paint on the heads even more accurate to the source material is the way to go. I wouldn't really want the bodies and the figures to change that much from what we're getting now. I think, you know, this is still a toy, but it's a great looking figure and it looks like what it should do from the film. And I wouldn't really want them to deviate too far away from that. William Randall says, hey boss, question for next week. What are the chances we could get an updated version of the Walrus Man in the Vintage Collection? I believe the original was an online exclusive and super difficult to find. So yeah, this is Walrus Man, or Ponda Baba as they like to call him, VC70 I think he is, yep, VC70. Now yeah, I have heard a lot of people say that back in 2011 he was pretty hard to get hold of, and I think this one is a prime example of something that Hasbro could easily reissue in one of their specialty waves. I've put Ahsoka next to him because it kind of mirrors exactly what I'm talking about. At the end of the day, both of these figures are highly sought after in terms of their rarity, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. Secondary market price wise, they're both expensive figures. I think Walrus Man always was like £80 to £100. But also, both of those figures have also been released in the Black Series 3.75 in those Walmart exclusive black and red boxes. So it's obviously easy for Hasbro to do. They still got the molds and all that kind of stuff. And I don't really necessarily think the figure needs updating particularly. You get all the cool accessories like his actual hands and the cut-off arm and things like that. The little glass. A brilliant figure, and you know, I've got him loose from the 3.75 inch Black Series because I daren't open one of these. So yeah, it's a prime candidate for Hasbro to put into one of those specialty waves. Alright then, so just a break from the questions very quickly to open the fan mail that I mentioned about earlier. And this first one is from Des T, who I met in person at Echo Live on Saturday. Really great to meet you, Des. And he handed me this box. You can see that it's got Bossk Bounty on there. And he told me not to open it until I got home. So I thought I'd save it for this video. It did have some tape there and there which I've cut, but I haven't opened it up to see what it is yet, so let's do that now and see what he's gifted me. Right, there's a little note. It says, hey boss, just a little something for your Bossk focus area for all that you do for us. It's all much appreciated. If you decide to open it up, I wouldn't advise eating the Pez pellets. Sorry about the pink box, by the way. Thanks again, Des. So thank you so much for that, Des. I do appreciate that. All notes get kept in a little sort of box that I have for that sort of thing. And here we go. This is awesome. Right, I'm just going to move the box out of the way. So I don't have this, which is brilliant. This is, oh, it's Pop. It's made by Funko Pop. So there he is. It's a Pez dispenser Bossk. I think I might keep this in the box like that. That's brilliant. And yeah, this will go very nicely in the Bossk Focus collection, which is fast becoming full. I'm going to have to dedicate another shelf to it, I think, the rate this is going. But I really do appreciate that, mate. And also, I really appreciate the chat that we had. It was great to meet you. You've always, commented on my videos and that, so I do appreciate that, my friend. So thank you so much. And thank you for the great gift. That's awesome. All right, then, so next up we have a package all the way from the USA, and this was sent by a guy called Scott. So thank you so much, Scott, in advance for whatever's in here. I have slit open the box just to make it easier for the video, but I haven't checked out what's inside. But this arrived on when I got back from Echo Live. So on Saturday, it was here waiting for me, and it was sent to my PO Box. PO Box 2154, Worthing, BN12 9EW. So thank you so much for that, Scott, and we're going to check it out right now and see what's inside. Okay, so first of all, we do have a note, it looks like, once again, which is good. Let's read that. Tim, I hope all is well with you and your family. I wanted to send a little something to you and little Bossk. I appreciate your Star Wars TVC videos and wanted to send thanks. I'm not sure if you have either of these items, as I can't recall them from previous videos, but Bossk is also one of my favourite characters. I even have a 1/6 scale Sideshow Bossk in my personal collection. Keep up the great work and looking forward to watching future videos. Warm regards, Scott. So thank you so much for that, Scott. I do appreciate that, my friend, and you're a lucky man having one of those. One day I will get myself a Sideshow Bossk. All right, so there's inside the package. Let's just take these bits out and then I can get rid of the box. All right, so first up we have this one here, and I can already see what it is. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I do have this. Now, this was a GameStop exclusive, wasn't it? I believe. So I got a friend of mine, Andy from the Holo Chronicles podcast. He helped me out with that. He helped me get one of these, but I wanted to keep mine boxed, but this one, I'm going to open this now. There you go, GameStop exclusive. I thought as much. So I'm going to open this one, and then this loose can go into my Bossk cabinet. And then when I get room to display my boxed one, which is currently away at the moment because I'm running out of space, then I can keep it in its box as well. And this is the only pop vinyl, I think that's what you call them, isn't it? Funko Pops that I own. Because it's Bossk, it's not really something that I'm personally into, but you've always got to have the one from your focus character. So thank you so much for that, mate, Scott. I really appreciate that, because that is going to go very nicely in the cabinet. And this little one here, I guess, is for little Bossk. So let's open this up. He isn't here right now. He's visiting his grandma. So I'll open it up for him and then he can have it when he gets back. So let's open this up. Oh, look, it's like a little mini one. That's cool. And that is, oh, wow. So it's a keychain, a Funko Pop keychain, Boba Fett, and that looks like, to me, that's the Book of Boba Fett one, is it not? It is the Book of Boba Fett. So that is fantastic. I don't know if you can see that. The light's not too good at the moment. I've got the camera quite far away. But there you go. That is a keychain Funko Pop of the Book of Boba Fett. And my son will absolutely love that. So Scott, once again, I really appreciate it, my friend. I appreciate anyone that sends me anything. I find it hard sometimes to accept that, people think highly enough of me to send me stuff like this. So when it happens, it's brilliant, and I really do appreciate it, Scott, so thank you. Gary Moore says, great comment as always. Question, do you think that Hasbro will announce a new HasLab project for the Vintage Collection line in 22? I really have my doubts considering what else has been announced, including deluxe playsets, etc, etc. I truly hope we get a Sandcrawler vehicle with some awesome stretch goals, but I'm thinking more likely early 23. Yeah, it's difficult to say, isn't it? Especially with that playset that was announced. It's quite a big ticket item, but I'm not too sure if they can go a whole year or the whole year of 2022 without announcing a HasLab and at least getting the ball rolling on that. Perhaps it will come out towards the end of the year maybe, and will run until the end of the year for delivery end of 23. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I can't see us going through the whole year without the words, you know, Star Wars HasLab being mentioned. So I think it will be at least announced and started this year for delivery in 23. That's my personal opinion, but you know, we don't know until anything's announced. Modal Node says, great episode as always, Tim. Question for next week. With the reissue of Mace Windu in the Vintage Collection, do you think we could see a reissue of Kit Fisto and figures of Saiz Tin and Arjun Kola, I think I've pronounced those correctly, probably not, in the near future? The latter two both had figures in the Legacy Collection, though I don't know if they're up to modern standards. Either way, I'd love to have the 4 Jedi who tried to arrest Palpatine in the Vintage Collection. Yeah, you and me both, my friend. I would love all of those. I think Kit Fisto is one that could definitely be reissued. I think that's probably a good enough figure. As you say, the other two are definitely not. I do have the Arjun Kola figure, and that is 100% not up to today's standards. I think the one in the Legacy Collection or the Saga Legends at the time was a repack of an earlier figure anyway, and yeah, it's well out of date. It needs serious work on that figure. So, but yeah, absolutely, I would really love to have all of those Jedi. The more the merrier. Django67 says, love your channel. Thank you very much, Django. Do you have a favourite Anakin 3.75 inch figure? If so, which one is it? I do, and it's this one here. This is the Black Series 3.75 from Attack of the Clones, and this is the one that they are going to be putting into the Vintage Collection. They pipelined it. They're going to be giving him a cloak. He comes with his little metal hand as well. I must apologise for the incorrect hand. This is actually my son's version of this figure, because mine's packed away and I had to ask him to find his, which is why he's got some paint rub on his hair. He rattles around in my son's drawer with all his other figures, which is how it should be. But this is a great Anakin. I think it's probably the only Anakin that I certainly own that, you know, actually resembles Hayden Christensen. And this one was the, as I say, the Black Series 3.75 inch, but it was also released in the Legacy Collection, the cancelled Legacy Collection of 2013, which came out after the Vintage Collection. And that one I think is even better than this one. I think the hair's a slightly different colour, and the face is ever so slightly better. So hopefully they'll take the best of both and they'll give us a really good Anakin. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the card back's going to be for that Attack of the Clones. That would be awesome. Mustang Orbit says, hi BB, if Hasbro asks your best personal wave of any 6 figures for TVC, do you have a list to help them? So this is difficult because, of course, if I was going to really think about how a wave is constructed in terms of, like, you know, maybe 2 newly sculpted figures, an army builder, a retool or a repaint, then, you know, I could probably come up with a different list. But I think essentially what I'm just going to say is my top 6 figures that I'd like them to do in one particular wave, and it's something that they would basically never do, and that is Luke, Leia and Han Solo from A New Hope. We need all 3 of those done on their Star Wars cards in the Vintage Collection. I would like them to do Black Chrysanthemum, I would like them to do Cad Bane, and of course I would love them to do Garandan, because he is just awesome. Alright then guys, that's it for this week's episode of Ask Bossk's Bounty. Thank you so much for watching. As I mentioned before, if you do happen to enjoy the video, like all my videos, drop a like down below because it helps them get out there in the YouTube universe. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to my Patreon supporters and channel members. Your extra support means a great deal to me, it really does. And once again, thank you so much to all of the people that I met at Echo Live yesterday. I had a great day on Saturday. It was really good to see some people which I guess I can consider fans of the channel, which it seems surreal to me, but it was awesome. So thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next one.